you all for coming to our National Signing Day press conference. Head coach Sean Lewis will start us off here with an opening statement, and we'll open it up to questions.
Oh, thanks for everyone for being here. It's a great day to be at Golden Flash. Really excited about the class that we assembled. The staff's done a tremendous job. We're able to complete the class today with the highest ranked recruiting class in the history of Kent State. Obviously have some representation from a lot of different states, but really excited about the 6 kids that we signed here locally. It's one of the largest recruiting advantages that we have, and one of our greatest advantages is the quality of ball that's played here in the state of Ohio with the great programs, great high schools that are here right in our backyard, and to get 6 kids locally to stay home, that's huge for us. We have another area that we designate as the state of Kent that is the primary focus of our recruiting, and that is Northeast Ohio through kind of the Pennsylvania Turnpike and all the way through Pennsylvania, Jersey, the DMV, and we were able to sign 13 kids out of that primary area and then supplemented it with kids from all over the areas in our secondary areas. So really pleased with the work that the staff did. Couldn't be more excited about the direction that our program's going and the recruiting battles that we won, and really excited about the future and where we're going here with this 2019 class.
Coach, last year you said, it was a sprint, 42 days, getting all this stuff done, and a couple things you were able to do differently, bring kids to campus multiple times. But what more goes into a full recruiting cycle rather than last year, having the full year? What more goes into it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the evaluation of the intangibles when you have the time to get kids on campus multiple times, to get to their high schools, to have those points of contact with them so you can truly know who they are. The people who are around them day to day give you a great representation. You're able to see the true narrative about who they are and the intangibles. Do they have a passion and purpose for what they're doing? Are they a great teammate? Do they add value in the classroom? Are they a young man with great common sense? And are they mentally and physically tough? Those are our core values that we talk about all the time. And for the young people that we're going to bring in, for them to be successful in our program, for us to win championships, they have to have those same values. And those are the things that determine success when you get to this level. There's a lot of kids with great ability near and far, but those intangibles are the ones that, from this moment going forward, the young men that have signed, the ones that truly love the process and love the growth and development and have that resolve to succeed. We feel like we've gotten a great group of young men that share those traits, and the time that we had to get to know them, to court them, and to show that this is truly the best spot for them, the best fit, so to speak. We had young men that turned down multiple Power 5 offers to come be a part of what we're doing because of what we're building and the time that is now to be a part of our Flash Fast family. So it's really great to have that time and to court people the way in which we want to do it and to be thorough in our evaluation process.
Now, what can you say about your coaching staff? I mean, recruits from everywhere. Georgia, you got Chicago, you got Florida. So recruits from everywhere. You guys were everywhere. What can you say about your coaching staff getting all these guys?
I don't think there's a better staff in America of building relationships and the way that they care for our young people. And to not only have the class that we have signed today, but that's represented by the way in which our players were representatives and ambassadors of the program that we are building here. So when these young men get on campus, the prospects when they get on campus, and they're hosted by our current players, right, and on those official visit weekends, they're able to tell the kids that we are recruiting exactly how it is. And I think a lot of the stories and a lot of the reasons why, the families decided to commit and be a part of our Flash Fast family is because of the relationships that we've been able to cultivate with our players, and because of the extra mile and the extra effort that our coaches will go to watch an extra tape, to watch, to put in an extra call, to write another letter, and to go the distance and to, quite frankly, get in the fight too, with a lot of these recruiting battles, to where they know that we have a very prestigious degree that we offer here, that we have the complete package and what we do offensively, defensively, special teams, and there's no need for us to take a backseat to anyone, whether it be someone in conference, someone at the Power 5 level, but we're going to go toe-to-toe, and we're going to make a family or a prospect tell us, hey, Coach, appreciate all the love and attention, but, I'm not going to end up at Kent State. And our staff did a great job being resilient, not taking no for an answer, and showing and presenting why this is such a special place, and that's why we were able to assemble the exceptional young men and families that we were today.
The new situation where you basically have 2 signing days, new for everyone. Just kind of talk about, okay, you went through the full process this time. You signed 15 in December. Just kind of talk about what happened after December and what kind of, your shift in mentality was leading into this.
Yeah, so what it helps you do is really, obviously, you lock in those 15 signees in December. and we were able to kind of take a deep breath and know where we're at and reshuffle the board and who's available, who's not. So you're not chasing ghosts, kind of reprioritize the positions of need and really be deliberate in the way that you went about the 3 weeks that we had in January during the contact period. So we kind of used that dead time to reevaluate tape, to dive deeper into our evals of all things involved, and again, kind of sift through, who was still out there, because there were some kids that didn't sign, but they were still committed, so they really weren't viable options. So again, where you're using your resources, where you're using your time, which is obviously the most valuable commodity that we have during this process, to maximize the time that we were out so that we weren't chasing our tail, and to be able to identify the right kids that can be, great ambassadors for our university and game changers in between the white lines for us to go win championships and ultimately get us to Detroit. And again, I think the staff did a fabulous job of being real and being honest and putting their egos aside. And even if, as an area coach, hey, there's a kid that I really, really, really want, but it wasn't going to be a viable option. So, hey, let's go target someone else and kind of utilize that, and then putting together the best official visits that we could those last 3 weekends through the help of our support staff, the facilities people here. I mean, every single time someone stepped foot on campus, everyone here at Kent State, all the people inside the football office and beyond, you'd be surprised the number of people that make these visits happen. They did an exceptional job, and just humbled and grateful for the effort that everyone put in, not just in our football staff, but again, facilities, administration, our professors, the academic people, our athletic trainers. It is a true holistic approach that everyone is involved in this deal and made this thing possible.
How do you feel as far as position-wise, what you needed coming into the recruiting cycle and what you ended up with? You feel pretty good about?
Great. We sat down about a year ago this time and truly kind of identified all of our needs, and we prioritized kind of the O-line, D-line in particular, that we needed to kind of solidify those fronts, because that's where the game is won. If you guys have heard me say at nauseum, since I've been here, and I will continue to say that. But to address those needs and to get, bigger, longer, faster across the board, and then again to go toe-to-toe with some really, great programs, some great coaching staffs, and great universities and great options for us to win those recruiting battles. You have to win those recruiting battles to give yourself a chance to win in the fall, and our staff did that because of their extra effort that they put forth.
Coach, a couple transfers on the class as well. Now, of course, it's going to be a little different. They've seen the college level, and they were from bigger programs, Maryland, Kansas State. How do you pitch to them differently, seeing what they have seen, and then seeing Kent State? Is there anything you really do differently with those kind of guys?
I think that's just a mindset. I think that's a deal where you look at it and a lot of people say, hey, those are bigger institutions, they're Power 5 institutions, and for whatever reason, they're better than we are here at Kent State, and I don't view things that way. I think, again, that we have an exceptional degree to offer. We have exceptional facilities that our young men get to train and develop in. We have a coaching staff that's going to go above and beyond to be there for them as young people and help them grow and develop. And as a byproduct, they know that they're going to be loved and cared for and developed as a player. So, again, we're not going to take a backseat to those guys. Now, when they get here, they need to learn our way of doing things. And Q Knight and Bill Kubik have been doing a great job of that through 4 weeks of winter conditioning and everything. So it's more about them just learning what's important to us, and that the things that we say we mean, and you need to follow through with that so that the family can trust you and love you. But as far as anything else, I'll put our athletic training room against anyone else. I was at the Houston. It's a great place, but we didn't have a cryotherapy chamber there. We got a cryotherapy chamber here for our guys to recover in, and just little things like that don't seem like much, but when you're a student athlete and time is valuable, the way time is for all of us, as opposed to sitting in an ice tub for 25 minutes, I can sit in the cryo for 3 minutes and maximize and carve out and create new time. Let's get it on. Let's do it. So we got a great university, a great home, great community to show and present here, and people recognize that when they truly take a step back, and know what we have to offer.
Coach, can you just talk more about the size, especially in the trenches? I know adding Buda Jones, I believe is his name. Can you just kind of comment more on the size?
Well, one of my mentors used to put it this way, and I'm not a very smart man, so I like to keep things simple, but generally, big people beat up little people. So size helps, and winning the trenches, you need to be able to control the trenches and dominate the line of scrimmage, and obviously we put a premium on size, length, and strength, and there's some guys there that have that. They genetically have been blessed, and not only are they big and are they strong, but what makes them exceptional is that they can move at that size and at that weight. So we're really excited. I know Coach Sobel, our strength coach, is very excited to get those big athletes here on campus and help develop them. And that'll, again, give us a competitive advantage going forward.
And speaking of size, in the defensive back, Mario Nunez, kind of a bigger, taller guy. What can that add to your defensive backfield? Because kind of the history of Kent State, we've seen more smaller guys in defensive backfield, even at the wide receiver position. So what can he add with this recruiting class?
Yeah, I mean, again, his length is advantageous for him, with a lot of the press man-to-man technique that we use at the line of scrimmage. It allows him that if he does get beat down the field, his length allows him to recover. And again, he has a wider radius to defend knockdown balls and to use his length to make tackles as well. So, again, in our evaluation process, we put a premium on length. It's a big part of one of the physical tools that we look at in our physical attributes is length across the board. So, you'll see that consistently in each of our signing classes. Not to say that we're not going to recruit smaller or shorter kids, but there's advantage to being longer, taller at all positions across the board.
Could you hit each kid real quick, and maybe if you beat who you beat to get them, that type of thing?
Sure. So you're talking about the kids that we signed today? Yeah. Okay. So I guess going from kind of east to west here. So Joshim Bagna, the running back from St. Francis, is one of the highest ranked kids that Kent State has ever signed. He was originally committed to Georgia Tech. When there was a coaching change there, we were able to take advantage of that situation. He held offers from Georgia Tech, Maryland, Syracuse, Wisconsin, Penn State, and who else am I missing, Shrum? Alabama. Yes, that school as well. So that's Joshim. There's also Quentin Jones, Big Buddha, who's the defensive lineman from Tallahassee. Tallahassee's been very good to us, obviously, with Mike Kerrigan, Jim Jones, and now Big Buddha. Coach Kaufman and the defensive staff did a fabulous job. Coach Kaufman, Coach Farrell in particular, of building a relationship with him. We were able to get him on campus as opposed to going to visit UMass. And when we got him to campus, we secured his commitment while he was here and shut it down. He was loyal to his commitment with that. Mario Nunez came up and he visited in October, if I'm not mistaken. And while he was up, he held numerous Group of 5 offers from Georgia Southern, Georgia State, App State, I believe, and had numerous Power 5 schools sniffing around, especially as we were drawing near to the initial signing period, which is the reason that he didn't sign then, to kind of see all of his options, and we were able to win down the stretch with him. The other kid from Georgia, are we still holding on that right now? Okay, we're holding on that, so we're not going to talk about that. Let's see. We got Elijah Lamptey, who's the offensive lineman from the Chicagoland area. Really a great job by Coach Barton, who is our Chicagoland recruiter, going to a high school that produces talent but doesn't produce talent yearly, if that makes sense, right? Like every couple of years they'll have someone pop up, and Elijah's kind of one of those kids, very unique individual, diverse background now. He was on his chess team. He's a yoga instructor along with his mom. He's got some, I believe, a black belt in some form of martial arts, and great family. Mom was raised on a military base, and are people of their words. So they had made a commitment and an honor to go to visit a Division II school prior to the initial signing period, and they would not break their word on that. And when they did that, I knew they were our type of people. They committed to a visit to our place the very first weekend coming out of the contact period in January, got to our campus. We got them committed, and then after he was committed, Indiana, Wisconsin, FAU, and Minnesota asked to come visit his high school, and him and his high school coach would not allow anyone else to come in. So that was really, really good. Let's see, who else am I missing, Chum? Brandon Coleman, all right, so Brandon Coleman, local kid here, who we had out to camp in early June, all right, and was coming off of a knee injury. And after his sophomore year, he was an 1,800-yard rusher, had all kinds of buzz about him. Unfortunately, his junior year was cut short. Came back, had a huge senior year, and two-way player. We think he's going to be an exceptional talent at the inside linebacker position for us. Great ability, great size, strength, speed combination to run sideline to sideline, which is what you need to have in today's version of football with the way people are spreading the sidelines and spreading around the ball in the field. And Brandon is an exceptional talent when it comes to that. We've also added some specialists, Brad George, long snapper, to add some depth to that position going forward. Really excited about him, another Chicagoland kid. Who else? Who's that? Colt Jennings, again, another local kid, preferred walk-on who will be here at the start of the summer, linebacker who will do a lot of good things for us as well.
What's this ranking mean to you guys? I mean, obviously, they haven't, they haven't ranked very high in the recruiting thing in the past. I know it's not as easy to rank if you're not Alabama or Ohio State, but
sure.
Obviously though that there's something to be said for moving up that.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing with the ranking is that, it's the stride and the progress that we are building, that we're cultivating here at Kent State, and we won't truly know until what this ranking means for another 2 or 3 years. And because it's our job now, I feel that we've done a great job assembling some great young men that have some tremendous ability and tremendous potential. Now, the ownership falls to us as coaches to develop and cultivate that talent. But what it does is that it helps the perspective that is Kent State football, right? That our brand of football, our way of doing things is exciting, it's new, it's fresh, and it's what kids want to be a part of. And when, if nothing else in this 2020 class that's upcoming, they're going to see that ranking and see that steadily each year. Hey, in 42 days, we were the 5th ranked class in the MAC. In a full season, we were the 4th ranked class. And year in and year out, we're striving, we're getting better. We had the average of each player was the highest, ranking that we had since 247 that started doing their rankings. So because of that, there's some 2020 kids that have already reached out, and said, holy cow, you guys are putting together something special. And it kind of alerts the spidey senses, so to speak, of those 2020 kids, like, hey, I need to check out what's going on over there, because if it was right for these other 2019 kids that turned down these Power 5 offers, like, let me go see what's going on there. And just by having that interest, shifting the perspective about what we're about, and we can get those kids to campus, now it gives us a chance to present who we are, what we're about. And I know if we get kids to campus, we got a chance to win on those kids, and I feel good about our ability to close. So it means that to us.
Where are you at now as far as scholarship goes?
So we got 3 numbers to play with right now that, if the right opportunity presents itself, we can utilize them. If not, we can count them back for the 2020 class. But feel really, really good with where we're at across the board and where the roster's at, and the way that we've kind of been able to distribute and manage the numbers so that we don't have any holes or a logjam of numbers in a certain class that, because of injury or departure with a graduating class, that is really going to put us in a bind. So Coach Schrum, the support staff, and again, our coaches as a whole, when we went out and identified the positions of need to fill those holes, to have a solid foundation as we continue to build this program for the long haul, we've been able to do that in a short amount of time, and it'll be really exciting when we get to training camp. There'll be something around 47 or 49 players that we've recruited, identified, and brought to campus since we've been here, and to be able to do that in such a short amount of time, it's a credit to Coach Schrum, the staff, and the work that they've put in.
You kind of mentioned Brandon Coleman already, but what went into the process? I mean, you guys have him listed as a linebacker, although he also played running back in high school. Did the depth at at running back have anything to do with that, or?
With our depth at running back?
Yeah.
No, so, I think, again, one of the things that our staff does a tremendous job of is knowing the physical attributes and the intangibles that are going to lead to success for each young man at the position that we have. And you watch his tape, he does both. He's a two-way player, and that just tells you that he has a great sense of football IQ to be able to do both. So with his knack for, being able to see everything from both ways, his ability to be physical and his desire to be great and to kind of have a chip on his shoulder because of where he was at his sophomore year and the people that he was talking to after his sophomore year, I think he's going to come in here with a the right mindset and a great attitude, that he was kind of overlooked a little bit, and work with that chip on his shoulder each and every single day to show that we believed in him, and he's going to make a believer out of us for believing in him. And I think he's got a great future ahead of him on the defensive side of the ball. You know, and if he happens to get a few carries on the offense side as well, I know a guy that can make that happen.
Anything else?
All right, the last thing that I need to say before we go, all right, because I didn't get a chance to do this yesterday. My niece Genevieve celebrated her 2nd birthday yesterday, and when I called yesterday as we were closing on these commits, I didn't get a chance to say hello, Genevieve, so happy birthday. And in about a week's time, Jackson, you're celebrating a birthday as well. I love you guys. Have fun. I'll talk to you soon. Head coach prerogative.
Life on the road.